My name is Lou. This is my first YouTube video, so I'm still a little camera shy. But I wanted to put together this video to demonstrate how I put together a bug out bag. And you know, the way the world is going, things are a little bit shaky. And so I think it's important to have a way to extricate yourself quickly from a bad situation. And so with that in mind, let's get to it. And so I put this on a scale. By the way, you want to keep this for a bug out bag. You want to keep it lightweight while at the same time have everything you need in there. And so I try to strike that balance. And so this bug out bag, I stuck it on the scale, and it says that it weighs about 17 pounds. Realistically, it feels more about 20 pounds. 17 to 20 pounds, still really lightweight. Yeah. And so, with that in mind, let's go ahead and look at some of the stuff that I have in here. So starting with navigation. Map of my area. Again, just in case of a grid down situation, you never know the towers, the cell towers, in case they're not operable, or you're just in a region that doesn't have a signal. It doesn't have to be that apocalyptic, And so a compass. And so between that and the map, I should be able to make my way around if I need to. And so this compass also includes a magnifying glass, which is a fire starting tool. It also includes a mirror. And so the great thing about that is, aside from, it's not even about vanity, it's just you can use this, of course, to signal for help if you want to be found. You could also use it should you get something in your eye, like that could be bad, that could get infected, and you want to have as much visibility as possible. And so with this, you should be able to extricate it. And so also this compass has cordage, which as I go along with this bag, you'll see that it's actually very useful. So along those lines here, I do actually keep my wallet in here now. Again, it's just for quickly to be able to just grab this and go. And in my wallet, I do keep cash. So that's very important in a situation where the electric grid is not reliable. I've actually been in such a situation when I volunteered for the Red Cross. I was down in Louisiana, and I was in an area that didn't have any power. And so I had to use cash to get gas. They couldn't accept credit card. And so you want to make sure you have some cash. Along those lines, you want to make sure that you have different denominations of bills, because people may not always be able to make change for you, especially too if you can have dollar bills, like singles, and not for the reasons you think, but they can be used in vending machines. Very important. And so in that same section that I have here in the backpack, I also carry this solar charger. So it's an infinite power source from the sun. And so this solar charger also comes with a flashlight, so very, where is the button for this? Give me just a second. I haven't actually used this very much. You know what? We'll come back to that. Oh, here it is. So, along with being a flashlight, it also will do signaling. We'll do like SOS signaling and that sort of thing. There we go. I want to shine that in your face. So, I'm going to shut that off now. But anyway, there's that. And that's important and very useful. And so, along with the electronics, of course, I have a spare charging cable. And that's that section. So now, let me move on to shelter. And so this is very lightweight. It doesn't actually take up a lot of space in my pack at all. And so this is an inflatable sleeping bag, not sleeping bag, an inflatable sleeping mat. So this will insulate you from the ground, so that in a survival situation, along with obviously comfort and I know sleep may not be easy to come up, to fall asleep in such a situation necessarily, but any kind of sleep you can get is going to be very critical to your survival. Now, in situations where you may not have a roof over your head right away, and you do need to be in their overpass, whatever, or even in the woods. You don't have to carry for shelter. You don't have to carry a whole tent. Like, it's very heavy. It's very easy to build shelter with wooden poles and cordage, so it's very easy to do that in the anywhere. And so all you really need is a tarp, just to shield you from the elements. So now we come to food. There we go. So you want to try to have macronutrients if you can. And so what that means is protein, fats, and carbs. And so these are 3,600 calories. So it's like a 72-hour food bar, basically. And so these are high in fat mainly and high in carbs. But they will keep you fed. And for my proteins, just a bag of jerky. And again, the reason I didn't pack very much food is because people can live, actually quite long without food. You don't want to try to push that as much as you can, but I'm just saying, people can fast and still keep going. Like, it's important, but at the same time, with just this calorie amount and these kinds of micronutrients, it will keep you going. So then we come to water. And so for water, I try to include different ways, not just to secure it, but also to process it. And so very handy. You can look into this online yourself outside of this video, but this is a life straw. And so this should allow you to drink filtered water, to just, stick it into your, whatever you're drinking from and be able to filter water this way. However, I did want to make sure I included some starter water. So some water, initial water. So just a couple of bottles, and that'll also, of course, help me carry water. Now, the reason I included just a couple of these small bottles, water can be very heavy, and so, just slow you down. And there's ways to secure water, wherever you are, there's ways to secure water, especially if you have scouted out different ways to secure water in your area prior, which you should do, to be honest, prior to, things going sideways. But anyway, so just these two is all you really need in the beginning. So along those lines with water. Oh, I forgot something. Another piece in the shelter piece. You want to stay warm. And so, just an emergency Mylar blanket. It's very lightweight, so just may as well include it. So there's one more thing here, one second, with water, that I wanted to make sure to show. I believe it's, all right, so this, if you're not in the community or whatever, you might not know what it is, but this is called the Silcock key. And so you can actually use this in an emergency situation. It's not something that I recommend just necessarily going around doing, although you can still go ahead and scout ahead of time where. But on the sides of buildings, you should actually be able to tap into different businesses' water sources. You'll be able to see that spigot. There's many videos available out there if you want to look up just, how to get water in urban areas with a Silcock key. And again, such a small little piece, and with how useful it can be, it's really just worth carrying it around. Along those same lines, very, of course, basic way of processing water is to boil it. So, it's a little camp mug here to be able to boil your water. So, this little piece of fabric is actually quite handy. There's many uses that this can be, this little guy right here. So this can be used to protect your airway. You put it on, as a, I'm not gonna, but you can imagine. You can put it on and use it to protect your airway. In addition to that, you can actually use it as a pre-filter for water. So when you're going out and getting water, you'll take this, put it over like this, take your water, and this will filter sediment out of your water and just help your life straw along, and to be able to pre-filter the water. This, in a pinch, although I do have bandages, and you'll see them later, can be used as a bandage, but it's just a simple cheesecloth of sorts. But it's sewn in it's a bandana / cheesecloth. And so, along the same lines, we come to fire. It's not the same lines, but whatever. And so, for fire, I do have this insulated waterproof matches. These are very long burning waterproof matches too, so they'll stay on while I light my fire. But just in case, for whatever reason, something happens or a compromise, you want to have different ways to start a fire, because fire is so important, again, beyond the scope of this video, but it is. And so you got something here called a ferro rod. So you can start fires very easily this way if you have some kindling, or if you just know how to make kindling. If you have a way to start a fire, to kindle a fire, it's very easy to start a fire with that. And so along with that, here it is. I have this waterproof bag. It came with the backpack actually. And so this can be used to insulate the backpack from rain, but it can also be used if you want to insulate like your firewood. Just stick it in here. But in here, I've included a little baggie with just some simple paper towels. The paper towels are excellent kindling. You can easily start a fire with a ferro rod actually and some kindling, some paper towel kindling. But there's that. And so, let's see. Oh, first aid. Of course, you got to have a first aid kit. But something important about this is a lot of first aid kits do come, pre-made. So you want to try to customize it for your own needs as much as you can. And so many of them come with like a ton of band-aids, like more band-aids than you will need for a situation, And so because of that, I have customized my kit here. So let's see some of the stuff. So of course I have kept some of the band-aids in here. But in addition to that, I have included something like earplugs. Now, as I mentioned, most bug out situations, they're not actually going to be you like running into the woods and starting off a new life. Most of the time, you just need to buy yourself some time. And so a lot of the time, you'll be going to a hotel, to a local family member's place, what have you. And so if that's the case, then, earplugs can be very handy in such a chaotic situation. Of course, you don't necessarily want to wear them when you need situational awareness, but again, depending on when you're bugging out to, it might just be a great way to get some extra sleep. But in the same kit, of course, I kept the bandage. I kept some tape for the bandage, and this is another bandage here. And then I kept a tourniquet because I don't know, it's important. It's very, I don't even want to, it's beyond the scope of this video, but it's very important to have a tourniquet. Gloves, that came with the kit. Some scissors, so you can cut through clothing really quickly. It's a EMT thing. And of course, like I said, I did leave some of the Band-Aids and antibiotic cream. And there's cooling gel for burns, all that sort of things. But then there's this custom little baggie of medications. I don't take any, I only take over-the-counter stuff if I need to, but I don't like. So all I really need here is some allergy pills, something for my stomach in case, my stomach is upset, especially when you're out, you're going to be stressed out. So definitely bring something for your stomach. It'll also, since it is an antidiarrheal, it'll keep you from getting dehydrated. And, some Advil. In addition to that, I carry this. this has a lot of ingredients that will help boost your immunity, which again, if you're in a stressful situation, it's very useful. But in addition to immunity boosting properties, it also does have electrolytes. So very important. You can get all the water you want, but you gotta have electrolytes to stay hydrated. And so there is that. My little kit here. Let's close it back up. And I'm going to take a quick drink of water here first. Okay, so that was the first aid kit. So now we come to toiletries. My toiletries have a very small footprint, but there's a lot in there that is useful, even with a small footprint. But this is all you really need in a situation, in a bug out situation where, I'm not going to necessarily include too many luxury items. But it's important to be able to see. And so it's on my agenda to get some glasses because I don't want to have to depend on contacts. But since I do at the moment, I have to have provisions for that. So small contact solution, contact case, extra contacts, and they are labeled left and right, so you don't mix them up. And as you'll notice as I go along here, that all of these, I already mentioned the contact case. As I go along, you'll notice that all of these items are in sample sizes of sorts or whatever, because most bug out situations, like I said, won't have you, starting a new life in the woods, as much as that can appeal as a fantasy to some people. Well, it appeals to myself as well sometimes, but anyways, but regardless, most bug out situations are not going to be that. And so most of the time, all you really need is some items to be able to buy you time till you can get to a safe place, to a safe place. And so again, so that's why I didn't carry full-size items. But another part of my toiletries is sunscreen. And so the reason for that, it's not just because sunburns are uncomfortable, but they're also very dehydrating. So not good in a survival situation. Since going along with the sunscreen, I do live in Texas. Mosquitoes are a big thing, and I suppose that is more of a comfort item, but whatever. It's very light, so why not, And so then poor sanitation kills a lot of people around the world every year. And so that's actually very important. And so for that, I do have some wet ones. And so that'll help me wash my hands basically and keep my hands clean in such a situation. And then my toothbrush. Again, most situations will have you, bugging out to a hotel or, to a loved one's place. Or if you're fortunate to have a secondary location where you could bug out to. And there's one more. So these are called dude wipes. For those of you that go hiking or camping or fishing, you might be very, very much aware of what these are. And so these are just, they help you clean yourself and keep yourself clean. And so they're great, when you can't get to a shower, even if you are in a government shelter. Sometimes you may not have access to a shower right away. That's actually happened to me while I was with the Red Cross. At one point, we did go to a shelter, and they had to actually bring in the shower trucks. So they actually have trucks with showers in them because there were no showers available. So there's that. And let me see. I think I got the major section. Hold on. Oh, super important. Duct tape. So duct tape is very important. Duct tape can be used to stop bleeding with wounds. It can help you just, to even patch up wounds if it came down to it. But mostly it can be used to repair clothing. It can be used to repair shoes, which again will keep you mobile. It can be used to repair even your shelter, your tarp. It can be used to reinforce the corners where you use your cordage to tie down your tarp. All right, so we got this. Oh, super important. This is part of the 10 C's of Survival. If you want to look into it, it's Dave Canterbury's 10 C's of Survival. But of course, cutting. A cutting tool of some sort, you know, to be able to process wood, self-defense, all kinds of uses of why you would need a cutting tool. Of course, to your cordage, like again, to build your shelter. It's extremely useful to build your shelter and many uses. And did I get all the toiletries? Yes, I did. Let's make sure I got everything. Oh, okay, so I believe I did. So something else here. Now that let's get into clothing. Let's get into clothing here. And so I got these gloves, and they are lined with rubber to be able to insulate when I'm processing water, which I'll have here in a minute. But you know, when I'm boiling water in the mug. I think I've already shown this. If not, if it's still in the bag, then I'll show it again. But in any case, it's good for that. It's good for when you're boiling your water, you know, to preserve your hands. But not just that. I mean, it's just hands are so important, you know, to survival. This helps you when you're even like foraging, you know, in the forest floor if you need to, or even in an urban environment. You're climbing fences, anything, whatever, what have you. You know, if like I said, if you should find yourself in such a more extreme situation. But of course, they also just keep you warm. We're almost done, believe it or not. Yeah. I think I must have shown the mug because I don't have it here anymore. Yeah. But there was a metal mug that you can use to boil water. Give me just a second. I must have shown it, and you know what? If I didn't, my apologies. It's probably still in the bag here somewhere, which I'll do one last look before I close out this video. But now we just come across clothing, as we were talking about the gloves right now. So extra pair of underwear, shirt, nondescript shirt specifically. You want to try to abide by the principles of gray man or gray woman. As much as possible to not attract attention. And so, you know, you could look at a separate video for that. It's just called the gray man, gray woman concept. And so there's that. And then I have an extra pair of socks. Again, very important. Should you get your feet wet, it's an easy way to get blisters. And you want to stay mobile as much as possible. And so, socks. And I've seen other people, at some point, I think I would like to get some tactical pants. So those are, I'll be able to turn those easily into shorts for different weathers. But as of now, I didn't want to, some people will pack a pair of jeans. But here in Texas, it's just not necessarily, at least right now in the summer. I will change my outfit, by the way. I'm going to check this bag to begin with about every 6 months to keep things fresh. But in addition to that, to keep my outfits to be appropriate for the weather. And so as of now, it's summer. So all I really need is just actually this pair of pajamas. And again, I chose to go with this instead of heavy jeans. Well, at the same time, I don't want to go with shorts because, you know, you're climbing around. You don't want to be scraping yourself up and whatnot. But even if I chose to make shorts out of this, I do have some safety pins in my first aid kit, so I could use that to just roll them up and turn them into shorts. I did show the mug because it's over here. And I'm almost done. We are almost done here. Let me keep foraging in the bag here, making sure I didn't miss anything. All right. So one more important item. If you live in a state that where you have such a freedom, which I believe we all have, doesn't matter. We should all have the freedom. But in any case, a compact firearm. So right there, keep it, yeah, compact firearm. And so, as you saw, it is holstered. And so it is holstered so that you're able to carry it, because it doesn't do you any good if it's just sitting in your backpack. And that is it. That is actually, that's it. That's everything I carry. And but all of this should be able to meet all of your needs. Your need for water, for substances, for food, and basic hygiene, warmth, shelter, communication, finding your way around, all kinds of things, And so it's actually a pretty small kit when you think about it. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you got something out of it. And I don't know if I'll ever make another video, but again, I felt that this topic was important, so I did want to make this video. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message, or if you have any suggestions even on certain ways that I can modify this, then yeah, shoot me a message. Thanks, guys.